We're going lights and sirens.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor 500 Help.
Yep, that's it. Taylor 500 Help for all your spring and summer season needs. From Taylor's Plumbing Safety Essentials Plus plan, you can save $100 on a Bradford white water heater, get free diagnostic fees, no overtime charges on emergency repairs, with an additional 15% discount. I love discounts. Since 1947, Taylor Heating and Plumbing and Bradford White have been the most reliable source for all your plumbing and heating needs. So Taylor does air conditioning and heating and plumbing and home energy and comprehensive maintenance plans, and they do duct cleaning. So check them out. Call 500 Help. That's Taylor. Call 500 Help and ask for Jerry. He will set you up. Precision Lawn and Garden, because we're all mowing our lawns all day, every day. I saw someone mowing their lawn at 7 o'clock this morning. Hopefully they got their lawnmower from Precision Lawn and Garden from Justin and Kimberly. They're right up there in Webster, 195 North Avenue, open weekdays 8 to 5, Saturday 9 to noon. Precision Lawn and Garden has been providing Rochester and the surrounding areas professional sales, service, and parts since 1969. We love them. They do those big daddy of lawnmowers. They do the push mowers. They've got whatever you need. New models, on sale models, all still products. Cub Cadet, Ferris, and Toro. It's Precision Lawn and Garden on North Avenue in Webster. And a brand new sponsor, Express Sealers. We're hearing so much about, there's so many people looking for jobs, but oddly enough, people can't find people to hire. Express Sealers is looking for people to work, and they pay a good amount of money. So if you're looking for steady work and good pay, Express Sealers, brand new sponsor of the Kimberly's Revolution show. They do your driveway good, right? Nothing says curb appeal more than a freshly sealed driveway. It looks amazing. Call Express Sealers, not a fly-by-night company. They're not one of those door knocker sealing companies. Protect your investment, power trimmed edges. They treat those big grease spots that your ex-boyfriend leaves on the driveway. Thick, professional, hand-applied, commercial-grade seal coat. Call Express Sealers today, 645-2010. Express Sealers, 645-2010.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in sunny Irondequoit, New York.
Woo!
Here's Kimberly.
Hello. There's Chad. He's in cuffs. There's Tom. We're all here. We are all here. The name of the show today of Kimberly's Revolution is From Studio to Sell.
Cell Block C.
That's it. Chad Hummel and Tom Morgan here in the studios with us in Irondequoit 530. Titus is where the Kimberly's Revolution We the People podcast network is located, right in Irondequoit, New York, where the taxes are high, but and we don't have a lot of freedom, but we're loving life, right?
Something like that.
We're loving life. So we have a lot going on today. We have, first off, thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Rock Vox Recording, which is in Bushnell's Basin, and Fitz and Austin, who are sitting in today to make everything happen. We appreciate you guys. If you're thinking about doing a podcast, you have friends at work, or you have, people that you just like to get together with and talk, and you think you have something interesting to say, call Fitz at Rock Vox Recording, because he can set you up with fabulous studios over there, and he handles everything, which we like. There's a little bit of a problem at the gas pump. There are over 1,500 gas stations in the South that are out of gas. It harkens back to the day, and I know you don't remember, but Tom and I remember, of the 1974 gas crisis, where I mentioned yesterday my dad had a Pinto, and
I remember that's the year I was born.
Embarrassed. So shut up. Seriously?
1974.
1974. That's just
No wonder he's got a lot of gas in him.
It's just embarrassing. So we have run-on gas stations. It's happening here locally. I'm going to play before we get into our guest who is on the phone. I'm just going to play you this from an old friend of ours who was at Costco today, and you guys will recognize the voice. An old friend. Here you go.
Hey, this panic at the pump has already started. I just came from Costco, 5 deep, and people were filling up gas cans. That's right, gas cans, and there's a sign at each pump that says limit 2 containers per fill-up. So there you go. Thanks, Uncle Joe, you demented bastard. You know, people just panic. Oh, let's run out toilet paper, gas. We're going to run out of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, you recognize that voice?
That was Mr. Beck.
That is Beck. He was at
love it.
Costco today and said that there's already signs saying you're limited as to how much gas that you can buy. So we have a guy that's on the throughway right now. He's actually coming up because you're in trouble. And Chad Hummel is going to be in court tonight because he was arrested for not giving up his freedom and not putting on a mask while he was outside at his son's high school baseball game. The court date is tonight at 5:30 in Irondequoit. There's a whole big thing called Stand with Chad. It's happening. I guess, are people meeting here? Is that the understanding?
I know nothing.
Are people?
No,
meeting-
I've heard that people are going to be gathering at the town hall in a little show of support.
Okay, good. I know that Matt Clark
myself.
and Matt Fritz and Shannon Joy and this guy who is on the phone, he is running for governor of the state of New York. He is currently the sheriff in Lewis County, New York. He grew up and started his policing career right here in Rochester, New York. As he joined the RPD, I think he told me in the early 90s. He is Mike Carpinelli, the sheriff of Lewis County, who is on the phone with us, is going to be here in a very short time to help Stand with Chad. There he is right there on the screen. Mr. Carpinelli. Sheriff, how are you?
Good, Kimberly. If I could, I just want to make sure I clear something up. I didn't grow up in Rochester. I actually grew up in downstate New York. I came from Kingston, New York. But I laterally transferred from the Kingston Police Department down that way to Rochester in 1991. I got in the department in 92. So I just want to clarify that. But I spent the rest of my career in Rochester.
Very good. So you went from downstate to about as far north as you could possibly get. Did you have enough of downstate? Did you?
Well, you know, I love downstate. But you know what it was? At the time, New York City wasn't hiring. And I was kind of one of those guys that liked the action and wanted the adrenaline. So Rochester was recruiting, and I put in for it. And I was very glad that they accepted me, and I got to go to a wonderful, actually an outstanding police department. And I will forever be thankful for that to them.
Well, we are thankful for you and your service as a lawman for all these years. And now you're sheriff in Lewis County and you're running for governor and you're on your way to Rochester. I'm assuming you have a couple of different, agendas, but are you going to be at the Irondequoit Town Court?
I am going to be there to support Chad. Yes, ma'am.
So first off, tell us why you're running for governor, and then tell us why you're gonna back this one sitting across from me.
Wait a minute, Sheriff. Sheriff, watch out
Yeah.
for the Junius Ponds troopers there. They're pretty rough. The barracks are right there. You're going right by it.
I will. The reason why I'm running for governor of the state of New York in 2022 is because the reason that many of us are upset and disappointed with. I mean, little by little, actually faster now, we're losing our rights, our civil rights. We're losing our freedoms. We have no representation, pretty much. And I don't mean to kick the other politicians in the butt, but I got to go ahead and say it. We don't have much solid representation or leadership from any of them in Albany right now.
True.
And you look at the way that the police have been treated within the last year, except for one really good person, the former president, supported us greatly. But the current administration hasn't done a darn thing and continues to lead a vitriol against the police and doesn't stand for much of anything for us. But in the state of New York, it's the same thing with the governor. He doesn't even treat his own troopers very well. And that's too bad because people have to realize every day and night, these men and women of all the agencies in New York State go out there to do a job that many others don't want to do. It hasn't been very, how do I want to say, comfortable.
Sure.
It hasn't been very kind towards that in a long time. And those are just some of the reasons why I want to run to bring back the honor, the respect, and bring back New York to the way that we knew it was once.
Absolutely. We have on guest is Lewis County Sheriff Mike Carpinelli. Tell everyone, if they don't know, where Lewis County is, because I had to ask today.
That's all right. That's all right. It is the Tug Hill area. It's above Syracuse and right below Watertown, New York. It's a beautiful area. We have a lot of rural towns and communities. We have a great area for snowmobiling. It's one of the largest in the Northeast that people come to for snowmobiling.
It is.
And ATV, and it's a great community.
And you have a lot of guns there, right?
We have a lot of patriots. We do.
Well, yeah, and that's a good thing.
Come
right?
on, let's not be politically correct, Sheriff.
And Sheriff, also, the thing is, I can't imagine how COVID probably just, killed that area of the country, of the state, because of the restrictions of our now governor, who has basically killed the economy in New York State.
Well, you're right. He's killed a lot of things, and I don't mean that lightly. And my heart goes out to the families that have lost loved ones because of this virus, and then because of the actions of what the governor's being hopefully held accountable for.
Yeah.
But, the thing of it is about the people, and I'll say it's the people. We don't need a government to tell us how to come back. We don't need a government to tell us how we're going to operate. The people govern themselves. And I think that many have lost that courage or that knowledge or that fire in their heart to realize that. Yes, there's laws that have to be fired, and yes, that have to be followed. And yes, there are rules that we need to govern ourselves by. But like I said, that's govern ourselves by. And that's been forgotten by the politicians that are currently there in place.
Without a doubt. So let me ask you, Sheriff, you're called by a local school district because someone isn't wearing a mask outside of his son's high school baseball game. Do you arrest that guy like they arrested Chad Hummel, who is sitting right across from me right now from the We the People podcast network?
Well, look, obviously my county, it's not going to happen and will not happen. But the problem is that there's been an excellent propaganda campaign by the certain political party and the media, not yours, and the media. And they have definitely done a lot of misinformation to people to make them believe that a mandate's the law. If it's the law, then why didn't the state police come? And why didn't the state police do most of the arrests for this so-called mask mandate? I'll tell you why, because it's unenforceable. They know it. Their council knows it. And the governor knows it, but he'll lie to you like he's done for the last year and a half on television, or the last year on television, as he always does.
I mean, we're getting people on Facebook that are writing, Ginny says, hallelujah, Mike Carpinelli has her vote for governor. We like that. Chad, your court date is at 5:30 tonight. Mike Carpinelli, who is the sheriff of Lewis County, is coming in to stand with Chad. That's what we're calling the little rally. How are you feeling, and what are your thoughts? For Mike.
Chad, how come you're not wearing like a robe and sandals? If I'm going to follow Jesus today, I was hoping you'd look like him.
Oh gosh, you're killing me, Morgan. All right, so here's the deal. So Sheriff Carpinelli, he contacted me about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did the sheriff find out about this?
Yeah, so our good friend of the We the People podcast network, Matt Fritz,
who is part of the We the People podcast network.
That is 100%. Yeah. So Matt Fritz contacted me. He told me about Sheriff Mike Carpinelli, and he said, the sheriff might give you a call.
Oh,
and I'll be honest,
like the FBI gave you a call.
Exactly. So I'll be honest, I was thinking to myself, well, I don't know who this guy is. Is he really going to give me a call? I'm getting a lot of Facebook messages at the time. A lot of people are expressing their support, but in any event, no less than 10 minutes after I hung up with Mr. Fritz, I have a phone call coming in from a 315 area code. And I'm like thinking to myself, could this be the sheriff calling me?
Yeah.
I pick up the phone and it's the gentleman we're talking to right now. And everyone that's listening right now can hear the genuineness in his voice and his passion. And that's what he expressed to me when there wasn't hundreds of people listening. That was just me and him on the phone. He expressed that support for me. We had a great conversation. I was immediately inspired by his message, the message that most of you just heard now. And then he called me again this morning. Sheriff Carpinelli called me again this morning, told me that basically that he had my back. We talked about the actual arrest. We talked about the legalities of it. We
Sure.
talked about the criminal trespass law that I'm charged under.
Right.
He gave
Because
me
you're not charged with not wearing a mask.
correct.
They called the cops because you weren't wearing a mask and they got you on trespassing.
Correct. They
Right.
they bootstrapped it into a criminal trespass charge. So Sheriff Carpinelli, in these 2 phone calls that we've had, we've talked for probably about an hour total, and now here on our show.
Yeah.
And his support, in my heart feels genuine, and it's much appreciated. And long after this is done and over with, no matter what the outcome is,
Mhm.
I'll be forever grateful for his support, and the fact that he's driving up here today
From Tug Hill.
to actually, put his money where his mouth is.
Because he cares about people's rights.
Yeah. That's
Right. Because he
that's
cares
what we
about
need.
laws that aren't, he cares about things that they say are laws, but aren't laws and can't be enforced as laws. Right.
Correct. When they
Well,
can't legislate, they
Dave,
mandate.
Right.
But Kimberly and Chad, what upsets me greatly with it, like you said, is the outright hypocrisy. Here they're going to take a man into custody. And first of all, they were called there for not wearing the mask. Not just for the trespass, but not wearing the mask. Now, what gets me is this. Did you not have a riot in your city not too long ago when several people blocked streets, burned cars, tore down businesses, and created all kinds of laws? How many arrests were made then? How many criminal trespass arrests were made then? Where is the courage to follow the Constitution? It doesn't matter. I don't give a damn, about the race, where the ethnicity, where you came from. We're all Americans, and we're all New Yorkers in the state of New York. Where was the as they say, the call of duty to stand up and enforce the Constitution as it states, and to enforce the laws in a fair manner? And now they take this gentleman because he came to watch his son at a baseball game, which we've all been waiting to do to watch our children in schools at games. I don't find that very fair at all. That's not very fair. It's not fair.
It isn't fair. We're talking to Lewis County Sheriff Mike Carpinelli, who is running for New York State governor, and already he's 100% better than what we have in office currently, right? Just from listening talk today, we know he's 100% better than what we have in the office currently. And here's the thing. How many times have we heard people say it's about family making kids better? It's about, the American family. It's about getting together, having dinner, watching your kids, play sports, taking an interest into what your children are doing, making them feel like they're important. So they're good, human beings, right? Hardworking, honest, patriots, right? And then you have someone arrested at the high school baseball game in front of his child. How disgusting is that? Really? It kind of
I might
blows
be
me away.
I might be able to answer that.
Okay.
No, look, forget about me for a second.
Yeah.
You raise such an interesting point in light of something that I read today. Somebody passed on to me today.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it's a bill that's being proposed or some sort of legislation
Mhm.
or some sort of regulation here in the Monroe County Department of Health or at the New York State Department of Health. But right now, all of the departments of health in New York State are getting ready to sign some sort of document that talks about, quote, eliminating the barriers to children getting the COVID vaccine. And of course, essentially what they mean is eliminating the parents.
Oh, okay.
Because right now,
That's right.
right now, the legislation that's in place requires parental consent. And what they're proposing to do is eliminate the
boy.
parental consent in order to get the COVID vaccine, because nobody will get it. Nobody's giving it to their children. So they want to eliminate the barriers, right? And that's essentially what they did to me, as you described, at my son's baseball game.
Yeah,
I'm a barrier to them.
They took you out of the loop.
Yeah.
They just got rid of you.
Yeah. The people that are in
The
control.
father. They got rid of the father of the family.
Yeah.
Let's
that
have
sounds
him
familiar,
arrested.
doesn't it? In our society.
It does.
So the
And-
people, go ahead, Sheriff, please.
I just can't have to say, but and what kind of message does that sound to our youth? That we're telling to respect our police, respect the authorities, and yet these young individuals watch a fellow classmate's father being arrested because first he wasn't wearing the mask, and then he didn't want to leave because he wanted to see his son play ball. By the way, he pays taxes and has the right to see his son at the game and to watch to make sure that, that it's properly officiated. And in fairness, nothing happens to his son. He has the right to protect his son and to watch him. And they've forgotten that. They thought that, well, they didn't forget it. They know it. But instead of taking the position of a constitutionalist or as we all hear these civil rights too, civil rights. Where was Chad's civil rights at that point? They didn't give a darn.
They were right out the door. I mean, it seemed like the school district at that point in time was, lock, stock, judge, jury. It was over for Chad the minute he stepped out of the car to attend his son's baseball game. They were looking for him and they were waiting for you.
They were actually. In fact, I just received about an hour ago, I just received some discovery papers from the district attorney, the assistant district attorney that's handling the case. And in some of that paperwork was a lengthy statement that was written by the campus security officer. And he's describing his discussions with the athletic director, who apparently told him, we saw him and his wife enter at this certain entrance to the athletic complex.
Yeah.
We watched him approach the left field fence. So he documents that I went out to the left field fence, right?
So
which is 200 feet away from anyone else.
School authorities told them to be on the lookout for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so they're employed. They want to keep their job, right?
And they want to eliminate the parents.
And they did. So now, Sheriff, you're coming into town. You're going to stand with Chad at 5:30 here in Irondequoit at the town hall, right?
Correct.
What happens?
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Does Chad walk in handcuffs, Sheriff? I don't know.
Well, I don't either. That's up to, obviously to the jurisdiction and to the judge of that area. But here's the thing of it. What this is about is this isn't about me coming up for campaigns or running for governor. What it is that I'm an elected sheriff by the people. I follow the Constitution first and then the New York State Constitution. That man has the right to have any citizen stand alongside him, any citizen, because his rights have been violated. Now, what bends me all kinds of directions is you can get 2,000, 3,000 people with frozen water bottles, Molotov cocktails and bricks in a matter of no time. Where is this guy's, where's his support? Well, I'll tell you what. Here's his support is. It's coming from a law-abiding citizen that has upheld the law for over 35 years. Coming from other citizens that respect the individual that's there, and they're coming right to their neighbor's aid. That's what they're doing. That's what America is about. That's what the United States Constitution is about. And that's what we as New Yorkers should be doing for each other.
So I just got done loading up my car all day with all this stuff to start throwing at people. We're not going to do that.
No, Tom, we're not going to.
What?
Wait, Tom is.
Sheriff.
Oh, man, I'm not going.
Sheriff, bring your handcuffs. My partner, Tom's going to get out of control.
What the hell? I thought we were going to throw some things around.
We appreciate you, Sheriff Carpinelli, for coming up, for taking, for doing what you do every single day. We back the blue. We what do they always say? The officers, I got your six. Isn't that what they say?
We back the Chad.
And we back the Chad. And now you're running. Now you're running for governor. Did you get any pushback when you said you wanted to run for governor? I'd just like to know.
Oh, certainly. I've had a lot of pushback, and I'll say it loud and proud every time. Republican Party's leader has done me no favors. The Conservative Party pretty much wrote me off because they've already picked for you who they're going to endorse. And that's awful funny from a group that portrays to say that they believe in the rights of the Constitution and the people again. And here you have it. And don't take my word for it. A Syracuse radio guy said that today too as well. He was out there telling the community about that.
Well, there was another guy called Donald J. Trump. There was another guy, Donald J. Trump, that they didn't support him either.
Right.
So
and
right.
And look what happened. Yeah, I mean, they've already basically decided who's going to run for governor. I mean, how fair is that?
Right. Well, guess what? They think they have. They haven't. The people are speaking loud and clear. You're going to see more of it as time goes on. Listen, it doesn't matter if it's me or the other candidates, but you know what? The people have the right to choose who they want. in their race. That's the process that's put in place. Just goes to show again, doesn't matter which party you're in, the Republican or the Democrat Party, at the top levels, boy, I'll tell you what, it doesn't smell good up there at all.
It's all the same party at the state and national level, Sheriff. That's what you're describing right now.
And and I also have to tell you, Sheriff Mike Carpinelli from Lewis County is on the show with us, and he is running for New York State governor. I mean, we've got to do something about these bail laws. I mean, they're absolutely ridiculous. There is more violence now from predicate felons that have just been given an appearance ticket. And we had, I don't know, a triple shooting the other night in Rochester, right? On Monroe Avenue. The crazy things that are going on.
3 guns got up off the couch and went out and shot themselves.
I don't know how that happened, but apparently it did. It's the second, multiple shooting on Monroe Avenue that we've had in the last 3 weeks. But you have these guys who have been released. They're basically catch and release. And I know a lot of sheriffs throughout the counties of New York are very upset with how bail reform is working out.
Well, it's very true. And you know what it is again? What is it? It's not just one party. It's a progressive far left group. And I'll say it, it's a small group. And we are continued to be pushed around by bullies. They're not a huge group. There are a couple of bullies that are using, once again, the media outlets. They're using the politicians who are afraid to stand up to them for the people. Now, it's got to stop. The bail reform did absolutely nothing but create more crime. It's put more officers. Listen, I don't want to go to the one place. More of us have been hurt. More officers have been killed because of these ridiculous laws that are passed. Now, the problem with it is if they were really genuine about police reform, if they were really genuine about caring for the so-called racism problem, well, they'd be doing something a lot better than trying to divide us, because if that's what they're trying to do right now, continue to divide us. And why, again, are we using race, ethnicity to bring the people together? Because it's a classic play. It's a classic play right out of the book of Nazi Germany, Marxism, and socialism. People need to educate themselves better. They need to engage and ask the important questions that need to be asked, and not be afraid to have them answered.
Excellent. Not be sheeple, right? Oh, well, if they say so, it must be true.
Yes,
we'll just bah with the rest of them.
Divide and conquer.
That's right. So, but we don't do that here on the We the People Podcast Network. And I don't think, Chad Hummel is one of those guys. Well, we'll just follow along, see what happens.
Not
quite. They picked the wrong guy for that one. And I do believe they picked the wrong guy, in the sheriff. He's not going to go along to get along either, which, you know what? I appreciate a sheriff who will actually stand up and say that. And we appreciate you, Sheriff Carpinelli. And we appreciate you not only for what you do every single day for the Blue, but what you're doing for this great state of New York, and that's running for governor to hope to change things.
Well, thank you, Kimberly. And I got to say that I have to reach out to all my brother and sister officers still in the RPD and those that were formerly there. If it wasn't for that home, that great home that I had and was allowed to, dwell in for quite some time, I wouldn't be where I am today. The people of Rochester still wouldn't have the safety that they have today, that the officers are trying to bring back. They're trying to do their job. It's not their fault. Remember that. It's the politicians above them. And please have your hearts and your prayers for them and keep them safe.
And there he is. Eh? Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. So we'll see Sheriff Carpinelli in just a few because the court date is at 5:30. And Sheriff, we appreciate you. Drive safe. And we'll see you in a bit as we walk in chains with Chad.
Thank you very much, Emily. Take care. Chad, I'll see you soon.
Hey, Sheriff, I hear he's bringing fish.
Thanks, Sheriff.
He's bringing fish and bread with him
for
us to enjoy.
All right.
Very good. That is Sheriff Carpinelli from Lewis County. He's going to be here with us in our stand with Chad. Bye-bye. So he was on the phone with us. He was hoping to be here in studio with us at the We the Podcast Network studios, but he was unable to get here on time. So, he's a busy guy. He's coming from the Tug Hill. He's doing the whole.
Can he speed?
No, he can't speed. You remember that whole thing with Mayor Lovely Warren when she had her Uncle Reggie. Yeah, they got pulled over a couple of times by a New York State trooper for going over 90 miles an hour. They didn't learn their lesson going down to Albany, and they didn't learn it coming back, and she got busted and popped twice. So there you have it. But I just want to tell you from the New York Times today, which is kind of a rag.
What'd she call me?
They have a whole everything is so confusing. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Wear 2 masks. Wear 5 masks. How many masks? Wear the shield. Wear the shield in a mask. Stick your head in the sand. Whatever you're doing. There's so many things, and it's so confusing. Today, from an article in the New York Times, and I quote, "There isn't a single documented COVID infection anywhere in the world from casual outdoor interaction."
Casual what?
Casual outdoor interaction. Right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so basically what they're saying is masks don't really make a difference, indoor or outdoor, if you're spaced apart. Or if you're outside, you don't really need to wear a mask at all, because there's not one single documented COVID infection from outside interaction. And that's why are you laughing at that?
I don't know.
She missed the casual.
Are you?
Casual outside interactions.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right.
But I mean, so you're at a
No,
but
it's
I mean,
out
that's
of
the thing.
control.
It's so confusing, right?
Yeah, I mean, and look, at the end of the day, is it even confusing? Because if we just use our common sense,
Mhm.
right? Who's putting a mask on outdoors?
It's your
If you just use common sense.
and COVID numbers are down. COVID deaths are down. The COVID, the people that are getting the infection, basically the numbers are down. You know why? Because we're building up our immunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Natural
And
herd
you-
immunity.
You can't tell me that the vaccine has something to do with it, because aren't there 3 Yankees players? There
Yeah.
are 3 Yankees players that have all been shot up, right? Vaccinated. They've all been vaccinated. Guess what they come down with?
COVID.
COVID.
Oh, I was going to guess gonorrhea.
Well, maybe that too. I don't know.
From outdoor casual interaction.
Yes, from outdoor casual interactions.
Now she gets it.
No, I get it. I'm not playing your little boy games.
Oh,
All right.
Come on.
I'm not playing your little boy. Ooh, casual interactions. Ooh, casual sex. Ooh.
What?
You guys are so weird.
You're afraid of all the little boys in the room?
Yes, there's a law. I'm surrounded by boys as well, except for Tom's wife, who is in studio with us today, because she's going over to the stand with Chad Rowley at 5:30. Are you worried about what's going to happen at 5:30?
No,
Are you first on the docket? I mean, do we have to sit and wait?
probably.
Yeah. Are you first on the docket?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I imagine, generally the way it works is.
Are you going to have to get out a checkbook?
Yeah. Do I need to bring the checkbook?
That's
I'll
what
be
Tom
good.
always asks. Do I bring the checkbook?
I think I should be good. I think I'll go home tonight. The funny thing is, I've always told clients over the years, you just got to be careful, because the attorney always gets to go home at night, right? Sometimes the client doesn't get to go home at night, depending
Right.
upon what happens in court. So, but tonight I'll be both the attorney and the client. So
Right.
Is that
Not
good?
sure.
Is that good or bad?
that's probably bad. Probably bad. They say an attorney who represents himself has a fool for a client.
Do you want, Chad? Do you want me to sit next to you with a stud gun?
It's
So,
probably a good idea.
so the stand with Chad Rowley is in front of the Irondequoit Town Hall at what time?
I have no idea what that's all about.
Okay. I keep asking the question. I keep getting no answer.
I think people are going to show up around 5:30,
Okay.
just to show a little support
That's nice.
as I go in and out of the courthouse. Yeah. I mean, all the COVID protocol is going to be in place.
Do you have to wear a mask? Will you wear a mask
Uh,
into the courthouse this afternoon? That is the question on Kimberly's Revolution.
I don't plan on it.
Well, then none of us wear masks, right? I mean,
Well, honestly, I don't know if they're going to let anyone else into the actual courthouse.
oh,
Per
I see.
se.
I see how they are.
I think they're limiting, the in-building appearances to attorneys and clients only. I don't
I
even think they let family members in the building.
Really?
So I don't know that anyone will actually be allowed inside the court building. But there's a nice big lush green lawn outside on a nice night like tonight for people to hang out without their masks on if that's what they choose to do.
You mean casual outside interaction?
Correct, with no mask,
But I mean,
with
isn't
no
that
face
confusing?
covering.
So they do this article in the New York Times, and I'm like, I'm so confused. And then I don't know if you've actually, watched the video. I tweeted it out on my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Kimberly R Radio. But Rand Paul is basically accusing Fauci of lying to Congress. And so they're there, they're having a little back and forth. And Rand Paul says, hey, listen, there's a link between Dr. Anthony Fauci not being forthcoming about his relationship with the federal agency that he directs, the National Institute of Health and the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, that they have a direct link to the Wuhan, China lab where the COVID virus originated, right? Have you heard this? He basically accuses Dr. Fauci of funding the so-called gain of function research, which basically is making these viruses super virus, right? So for sport, they try to jack up these viruses to make them super viruses to see what happens. And Dr. Fauci was saying, oh, no, we didn't fund that, but it's on record. It's on paper that Dr. Fauci and the National Institute of Health, along with a Dr. Shi of China, to the tune of $3.7 million beginning in 2019. And then in 2020, another $3.7 million for this research work of where they pump up these viruses to super viruses. I mean, bat-borne viruses, animal viruses, to make them super viruses to see what happens. So Fauci lied to Congress because Rand Paul, a congressman from Kentucky, found the documentation that shows that Fauci and the National Institute of Health funded the lab in Wuhan.
They're releasing genetically modified mosquitoes in Florida right now. What can shock us anymore?
I don't know.
I just want to know,
dogs?
Is Chief Alan Laird involved in this at all? That's what I'm curious to know. Is he working with Fauci?
It's again, I guess you have to follow the money. And we've heard that time and time again on Kimberly's Revolution, is you just have to follow the money. But Fauci admits that
Easier
COVID
said than done, though.
Could have come from the Wuhan lab, but he's saying, I have no authority to say it came from the Wuhan lab. That's what Fauci is saying. But that's not Rand Paul's point. The point is that the National Institute of Health and the chief doctor and advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, they funded this lab in Wuhan, and this doctor, this researcher, Dr. Shi, in, creating these super viruses that are animal born. It's insane.
And he was asked about it.
It's not like some, conspiracy theory. This is real life stuff. It's not made up. It's not some guy in a tinfoil hat somewhere in his basement making this shiatsu up. It is the truth. I tweeted out the 7-minute congressional hearing part where Rand Paul is, taking Fauci to the floor. To the what? Yeah, right. And it's worth listening to the 7 minutes, I think. And again, I tweeted it out on my Twitter at Kimberly R Radio, so you can check it out. But I thought it was, it's
pretty
mind blowing.
Yeah.
Isn't it sick stuff?
It really is.
So they're making these super viruses. And the thought is, well, if we make super viruses and find a way to cure them, but you know what? Just somehow managed to slip out.
Yeah, this is like, isn't this like Frankenstein?
It is.
You just can't make this stuff up. We say that all the time. And as we hear more and more stories like this, it just kind of numbs us, right? It gets to a point where,
like, oh, I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, but you should listen to this because it's important to know that we backed with millions of dollars the making of these super viruses. And don't think it hasn't gone on. It's probably gone on in labs all over America for years. But the fact that an advisor and the head of the National Institute of Health, Dr. Fauci, stands up and lies to Congress, significant.
Yeah. And
you can't just gloss over it.
They make the disease, then they provide us the cure, right?
At a price.
Yeah, at a price. And sometimes the price is your life with these vaccinations, your life and your health. The saying that I always use is the government loves to break your legs and then offer you crutches.
So nice at a
Yeah,
price.
at a price.
At a
Yeah.
price.
Yep.
So there you go. It is Kimberly's Revolution. You can watch us on YouTube. We are on We the People Podcast Network
Did I
on
miss court yet?
YouTube. What's that?
I didn't miss court yet,
You
did
did
I?
not miss court.
All right, I don't
We
want to
the
get a
People
benchmark.
Podcast Network on YouTube, right? Right, Tom?
Yes.
And also on Facebook.
Hello? Wait, what?
A lot of people are wondering where we are on Facebook. You have to like the We the People Podcast.
We don't know where we
Network
are.
Well,
Where are
you
we?
know, it's
Yes.
all new. It's coming around. We're getting to that point. It's all happening.
Well,
Right.
it's been invented for like 20 years, so I think by now we can figure it out, right?
What has all been invented?
Facebook.
We appreciate, well, yeah, but where we are, I think for people in order to listen. So now we're on the We the People Podcast Network on YouTube and then on Facebook as
Right.
well. All you have to do is like our page.
Subscribe and like us.
Yeah, that's it. And then on Apple Podcasts, we're on Apple Podcasts as well. And you can just subscribe there. It doesn't cost you anything. Just give us a like and we appreciate it. We also appreciate all of our sponsors, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, Precision Lawn and Garden, Taylor Heating and Plumbing, and Express Sealers, and Rockvox Recording, who is running everything and producing our show, which we appreciate. So listen, there's a gas crisis. Oh, at first I wanted to ask. So the FDA has approved 12 to 15-year-olds. How old are your kids?
I have twins that are 13. I have a daughter that is 16 and a son that's 18.
Are they going to be vaccinated?
No.
What if the school says, Mr. Hummel, if your children aren't vaccinated, and by the way, I don't want my 12-year-old to be the guinea pig for the USA, right? For Big Pharma. I don't want my 12-year-old to be the guinea pig for Big Pharma to see what happens on this new rollout and how the COVID vaccine is going to play with preteens, right? I don't want to, my kid's not going to do that.
Yeah, because these vaccines, of course, just like the current vaccines for adults, are not FDA approved. They're all being issued under this emergency use authorization, EUA, emergency use authorization. So, I mean, the answer is obvious. If the FDA hasn't approved the vaccines, why not? Because they're not at that stage yet.
Right.
Right. The FDA, of course, before they can approve a vaccine, the vaccine has to go through all of its customary stages. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know what all those are, but if they haven't approved it, I do know that they haven't gone through the stages yet.
They've rushed it. We
Yeah.
all know that they've rushed the vaccines
For an
and
emergency.
There have been issues. But what if they come to you and say, "Well, Mr. What if they write you a letter because we know you're so fond of
They
them.
will write me a letter.
We're so fond of you're
That
so
was
fond
my
of letters,
answer.
right?
My answer was,
What if they come to you and say,
Chad's going to get written a letter.
like the big headline
Yeah.
today, no vaccine, no college, no education. We don't need
We don't need no
The answer is
education.
the answer is no education. The answer is no in-school education.
You homeschool them?
Either homeschool or some other option.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Because if they're going to make it mandatory for college, right? And now that the vaccine is available for 12 to 15-year-olds, I can see that they're going to make it mandatory for middle schoolers and high schoolers.
Yes.
That's next, right? That's Big Pharma's target. Next is your kid, your baby, not my baby, not Chad's baby, but everyone listening to us right now. They're coming after our babies like they're guinea pigs.
Yeah, they can make more doses than you can make people.
And by the way, I just want to let you know, Pfizer revenue in Q1. Do you want to
Nice.
know? You want to know how they did?
Yeah, I got stock in here.
You got stock in
Of course you do.
Pfizer?
Sure.
Pfizer, the vaccine revenue Q1, 3.5 billion is
That's
what
it?
they made off the COVID vaccine.
That means it's going to go down. They were
And you know
supposed to
what?
make
That is
3.6
Pfizer.
billion.
Q1 revenue from the vaccine, 3.5 billion, and Pfizer did not accept federal funds. So this is all bank for them. They don't have to pay back the federal government the money to fund the vaccine up front because they
but
did it.
But they do have to pay off Andrew Cuomo because, as we know, the Pfizer vaccine is the only vaccine in New York State that is going to be administered to these children under this emergency use authorization. It's only
Follow
the
the money.
Pfizer vaccine.
Follow the money.
Andrew Cuomo, the words out of his own mouth at his press conference, either yesterday or today. I think he was in Buffalo, in Erie County, and out of his own mouth, he said, "It's just gonna be the Pfizer vaccine for now, because that's how it's gonna be."
Because he's getting a kickback.
Of course, Pfizer.
Because he's got to be getting a kick.
Pfizer dropped millions into his campaign, slush fund a couple years ago. The fix is in.
Yeah.
The fix is in for Pfizer. That's why the schools aren't open right now in Monroe County. That's why the schools are still in hybrid mode at the high school and middle school level in Monroe County, because the U of R is involved in the pediatric vaccine trials right now.
Yeah.
And if the kids go back to school without a vaccine, well, then what would be the reason to force that carrot? Why would they wouldn't have that carrot to dangle out there anymore?
They're going to send them home.
Yeah,
they're going to send the kids home. Deborah Davis says the demise of America. Yeah,
really
right before our eyes. And the thing is, what do we have right now under Sleepy Joe? We have gas shortages. We have Israel, the violence in Israel. I mean, between Hamas and Israel, I don't know who's going to blow each other up first, but they're doing a damn good job of lobbing bombs at each other, right? The Mexico border surge is crazy. We had the picture, Tom and I, yesterday on Kimberly's Revolution.
That's Trump's fault, though. He didn't build the wall high enough.
Apparently not, because someone just dumped 5 little girls on some American farmer's land, and thank God for the farmer and his wife who found these little ones, including 11-month-old, crawling around in the bushes because they call them coyotes. Some coyote just dumped the little girls there and left them. You know what the little girl had written on her diaper? Some random phone number, right? So where is Biden? Gas shortages,
Joe Biden's phone number,
Israel violence, the COVID surge in India and around the world, and the Mexican border crisis, and Sleepy Joe is nowhere to be found. He has not spoken out.
Democrats.
I mean, where is the guy?
Thank you for your
He's
vote.
taking a nap.
Where is the guy? I mean, the whole thing is crazy. And again, there are over 1,500 gas stations in the South that don't have gas. I want to show you a little video because CNN is saying, oh, there's no long lines. CNN says, and apparently they haven't checked Twitter, because I checked Twitter today. And
my buddy in North Carolina just sent me a video. He took it as he was driving around. He drove through a parking lot.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this video, wondering what he's trying to show me. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me.
He's showing you the line.
It was a snake of a line of cars. It had to have been 100 cars long in this parking lot trying to get into a gas station.
Is a fight at a Marathon gas station. Takes place in Knightdale, North Carolina. I don't know where that is. They're full of Marathon gas stations in the South. Watch this situation as one woman tries to butt in line at the Marathon gas station because they've all been waiting there for hours. Here's the video.
This nigga's wildin'.
He's trying to butt in.
Your buddy in the Honda tried to cut. Like, the fuck is you doing, bro? Wow. Yo, she spit on this nigga. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yo. Buddy kicked her shit into the street. This nigga's wild.
Did he pull a gun there at the end?
I don't know
Did you
if
see
it was
that?
a gun or if he was just using
Pretending.
if he was just using the hand.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
It was a nice hockey maneuver there, though.
Yeah,
Right.
saw him
Right?
pulling the sweater over.
So she's
Yeah.
trying to butt in line because there's lines all over the South at gas stations, because there is a gas shortage, because, Colonial Pipeline was using an outdated version of Microsoft Exchange. I kid you not. One of the most important pipelines in the United States was using an outdated version of Microsoft Exchange. I'm not
Just
making
like
that up.
my
That
computer.
is true. So the Ruskies were like, I got my 5-year-old nephew that could hack this account. But anyway, so now you have this, the person's trying to butt in line. You're going to find more of this if the situation isn't fixed quick. But the fact of the matter is, how did we allow this to happen? And how vulnerable are all the other very major important infrastructure sites throughout the country. You know what this is now. You know what Colonial Pipeline is. It's a challenge to all of the other bad actors that are in foreign countries
100%.
like the Ukraine or Russia or China to see which next thing they can fuck up in America.
We have our water,
Right.
our water
Right.
supplies, our water plants. We have our
Everything.
nuclear plants.
And we've been warned for years. Make sure that you have some kind of security system, right?
Our FBI is raiding Rudy Giuliani's office at
Right.
6 a.m.
Right.
as our gas lines are getting hacked by China and Russia.
By Russian criminals.
I saw a meme yesterday.
Called the dark side.
I saw a meme yesterday on Facebook, something to the effect of they can hack our oil lines, but you don't think they could hack an election.
Right. And someone said, well, Kim, so I saw that and I posted something like that on Twitter. And someone said to me, well, Kimberly, the ballot boxes aren't hooked up to the internet, so they can't.
No.
Really?
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Really?
But
How do you vote? I don't fill a dot in anymore. Well, you
Yeah.
do, but you
That's-
scan it into a
There-
machine,
there's
don't
no
you?
toggle you push down anymore.
That's-
Exactly.
what we're dealing, that's the mentality we're dealing with. Oh, nothing could happen to the election. They just hacked our fuel pipeline, one of the biggest pipelines to the East Coast. Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Florida. It's making its way up here where it's starting, we're starting to get a little gas scared, right? Like we did in 74 under Jimmy Carter, which really kind of done Carter in. Between that and the crisis overseas with the hostages, that kind of screwed Jimmy Carter majorly.
Technically, it was Gerald Ford, but Carter came after that.
Well, you know what I'm saying, but honestly,
Right.
but I mean, it really is economics at play, right?
Keep dating yourself, Tom.
Yeah.
That's the Biden mentality right there. Yeah, but I mean, but how crazy is it? And I'm not some, great on internet genius, but how is it that a major
Shocker.
infrastructure company was using outdated version of Microsoft Exchange? How did that? Is someone getting fired over
Probably.
that?
Yeah. I would
Could it
think
be an
so.
inside job? Could it be on purpose?
I don't know.
They want you to get your electric car, Kimberly. I keep telling you
Oh, green energy.
that. Right.
Is it their way? They're pointing towards green energy.
They
Hey,
wanna
look what
scare
happened.
Everybody, look what happened.
what
Get
happened.
your electric car.
Get your Tesla,
Mhm.
right? Get it done.
With Dogecoin. Oh, Dogecoin update for today.
What? Dogecoin?
Dogecoin update
Down to 37.
46.9 cents.
Wow. It's down.
Bankrupt.
Down.
I'm losing money by the second.
Bankrupt.
My
Dogecoin
dumb
update.
husband. No.
Bankrupt, and she's sleeping on the couch tonight.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. Wait. Are we going to have the Dogecoin guy in next week? Fitz, do you know? Did you talk to him?
Dogecoin guy.
This is like
definitely not a Dogecoin guy.
but he's like a Bitcoin guy, right?
Yeah.
This guy knows all about Bitcoin, and he's going to fill us in. He's going to fill us in
It's going to fill our pockets.
on what we don't know. Yeah. Sure, right. I don't think he's going to give us any money, but he's going to fill us in. So yeah, I mean, any more lasting thoughts before we go watch you
I have
walk into jail?
I have some leftover Michelob Ultra. Am I bringing that? I mean, we gonna do anything here?
Yeah, and the question
Do
is,
I need my cooler,
do
Chad?
you get to pick your celly? Because you don't want to. You know what I mean? You want to make sure you pick someone smaller than you. That's all I'm saying. It's very important.
Well, unless he's picking me, he's got pretty much no chance.
This is all good advice from Kimberly's
I mean,
Revolution.
You know what a prison purse is, right? Use it often for things that you need. You know what a prison purse is, yes?
Isn't the cops and the lawyers are the ones that they come after in prison?
Pack up your prison purse.
I should be okay tonight.
Wait, I've got it. Hold on.
Don't be stupid.
Oh no.
Hummel from Alcatraz.
I was trying to get the Chad Hummel, but it's
Hummel
not there.
from Alcatraz.
It's not
out.
there. It's not there anymore. Sorry. I was going to do the Chad Hummel Alcatraz.
Yeah,
But
I shouldn't be in too much legal jeopardy tonight. Tonight's the arraignment. Anyone that
You're going to be arraigned.
I get arraigned tonight,
Wow, that sounds very scary.
doesn't it?
It
I
does.
get arraigned tonight. I get told what I'm being charged with, and I'll be asked if I want a full reading of the charges. And usually,
What are you going to say? Are you going to say yes?
You know, I thought about that. In 18 years of doing criminal defense work, I've never asked a court to make a full reading of the charges because, quite honestly, you're just breaking the judge's chops at that point when there's really no upside to it. It's just more or less a legal formality.
Right.
So I probably won't. No, I'm not going to ask for a full reading. I'll just enter what's called a not guilty plea. But then I have something up my sleeve.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I have something up my sleeve.
Here we go. Oh boy.
We'll leave it for Berkeley Breen or somebody on the nightly.
We'll
news,
leave it
perhaps.
for Shannon Joy's show tomorrow.
Don't get her started.
You're going to be on all the shows tomorrow.
You're going to be on all the shows
and just by the way, Kimberly's Revolution is on live on Mondays and Tuesdays at 2.
Yes.
Possibly on Thursday. We're gonna see how it rolls in the next week or two.
Definitely not Friday.
Wednesdays, definitely not Friday. Friday's party day, but definitely always on Wednesdays at 4, but Mondays and Tuesdays at 2. And you can always listen to us later on YouTube, on the We the People Podcast Network on YouTube. And you can always find us on Facebook at the We the People Podcast on Facebook, Kimberly's Revolution. Very easy to find. Just look for my face in the flag.
When do I get my own show?
Whenever you want to start your own show.
Is there going to be hot dogs?
What are you
and
asking me
hamburgers?
for?
I'm
not in charge of you.
I'm
not your mom. Start your own damn show whenever you want.
Fitzy, do you have clearance to get into the Monroe County Jail? Will you be able to set me up? I want to get one of these cameras and microphones and sell Black Sea.
We're heading down to the Irondequoit Town Court, I guess. Is that where we're heading?
Peaceful and patriotic gathering.
Always.
Right?
Always.
We don't want to get anyone impeached over this.
Tom.
God bless. Be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
Nice job today.